We are just about halfway through 2024, so I wanted to bring you guys a little bit of insight as to what we're seeing in the real estate market, how it may have varied from the start of the year and even last year, and what it may mean for you if you are looking to buy or sell real estate here in Coastal Delaware in 2024. Things have definitely changed since last year, so make sure you stick around to the end so you can get the full insight as to what it may mean to you, depending on which side of the equation you're on. If you're new to the channel, my name is Matt Lunden. I'm a local real estate agent here in Coastal Delaware, and we put out content each and every week discussing all things Coastal Delaware, what it's like to live here, the real estate market here, and so much more. If that's something you would like to see some more of, do us a favor, hit that subscribe button down below. And then if you or someone you know is looking to buy or sell real estate here in Coastal Delaware, that's what me and my team help you with every single day. And we love hearing from you guys here on the channel. So all my contact information can be down below in the description and right here on the screen. If we can help in absolutely any way, don't hesitate to reach out. Now let's get back to the content. I want to touch on a few important metrics first before we dive into really what the current market may mean if you're looking to buy and or sell. Before we dive into exactly what you should do, a couple of these metrics are pretty interesting because I've found that scrolling through social media and looking online and everything else, that a lot of times these things don't line up with what other markets are seeing. So these stats, again, it's June 25th right now. I just pulled the stats from our MLS right before recording this. So I just want to provide you with a little bit of insight as to exactly what we're seeing. First, and probably the biggest, is our number of listings with price reductions. It seems like everywhere I look online, there's people saying, hey, prices are dropping across the board. The bubbles burst. Prices are coming down. The reality is we've only seen 0.4% of an increase over last year on listings with price reductions. So 0.5% more this year than in 2023. Not a big increase like you may be reading about online. Yes, we do certainly see some homes that are reducing their prices. Again, as I've stated before here on the channel, most of the homes that we're seeing reduce pricing are ones that started high in price to begin with. You know, maybe a seller or an agent thought, hey, why don't we take a chance at a price? And if it doesn't happen to sell there, we'll just reduce our price. Certainly one strategy, not the one that I would advise, but certainly a strategy. And we've seen a 0.5% increase in listings with price reductions. So not a big sweeping number like you may have read about online. To go along with those price reductions, the other part of that interesting stat is that our median list price here in Coastal Delaware is up just about 5% over last year. So we've seen about a 5% increase in our median list price. Again, some of those homes that we're seeing reduce the price, maybe they took a larger chance at, what they were trying to get and it just didn't work out. So we have seen list prices jump just a touch. Again, 5%, not a huge number, pretty close in line with the historical average. So it's not like prices are skyrocketing like they were in 2021 and 2022. I think one big factor in the market right now is both our time on market and the number of active listings that we're currently seeing. Active listings means homes that are on the market, able to be shown and able to be sold. Those are up 43% over 2023. So there is a lot more inventory right now than there was in 2023, which leads us to the next statistic that days on market is up 11 days over 2023. So homes are sitting for almost 2 full weeks longer than they did in 2023. Again, that's a median number. So some of them are certainly still selling pretty fast, but for the most part, we're seeing homes sit on the market for about 30 to 50 days. The reason for the 20-day gap there is some neighborhoods are moving a little bit faster than others. Some towns are moving faster than others, but across the entire coastal region, we're looking right at about 30 to 50 days with 40 being kind of the norm that we can expect, right smack dab in the middle of those two. Again, certainly a little bit different picture than we saw just a few short years ago when houses were selling extremely fast for a lot of money. And if your neighbor listed for one price, you could add 50 grand the next day and sell it still in a weekend. Just not the case anymore. So we are seeing time on market creep up a little bit. So if you are getting ready to sell your home, just prepare yourself that it may take a little bit longer to sell that home. And then we are starting to see a lot more inventory on the market. So if you are a buyer in today's market, just know that there may be more options to look at. Again, as we have said on this channel, the number of active listings on the market, just because that number is increasing, it does not mean that the inventory that is coming on the market is either good inventory, and it does not mean that that inventory is going to be within your budget. So depending on your budget and depending on what you're looking for, that increase of inventory may not actually be helpful to you because it may not fit what you're looking for. Just wanted to make that clear. So now let's dive into what does it mean for buying? What does it mean for selling? How does that picture look? What does it mean for me? And all that kind of fun stuff. So first, I do want to say that right now we're in kind of a strange time because the sellers that I talk with, they think it's still like 2021 and 2022 where they can just put any price on their home and get it. But then the buyers that I talk to, they think it's just after the 2008 crash and they can get the best deal ever on a home. I will tell you that neither one of those extremes are necessarily correct. Certainly there is a middle ground there that we need to be discussing and we need to figure out. So first, if you are looking to buy in today's market, certainly if something has been sitting a little bit longer, days on market are 75, 90 days, you can likely get a better deal on that home. If it's something that was just listed yesterday, that seller and that listing agent are likely not going to come down a whole lot in price just because there is just a short time on market there. If again, the days on market has increased, certainly if you're a buyer, you can likely get a lot better deal than what that list price is. However, if you just feel good about getting money off the list price, the reality is if it's on the market for that long, the market is saying that it's overpriced to begin with. So you're just getting it at fair market value at that point. However, it could be good for you if you maybe have a house to sell or maybe you need to get some things in order. You can certainly get a lot better terms on the buying side for those homes that are sitting. What does that mean? It means, again, you could get a home sale contingency. Hey, my home's on the market, hasn't sold yet. Can we go under contract on this thing? If it has only been on the market for a short period of time, it's not likely that seller is going to accept a home sale contingency. Once those days on market creep up, though, that seller is going to be a lot more open to negotiation. Again, with inspections and financing and all that kind of stuff, as those homes sit for longer, you can get a lot better terms and negotiate a lot better terms on your side versus the seller side. Again, a lot of that is going to be dictated by time on market and not necessarily anything else, because the longer something sits on the market, the more that seller is going to want to get rid of it. Now, when I say sellers think that it's the spring of 2022 or they think it's 21, 22, those years when your neighbor could sell for one price, you could tack 50 grand on it the next day and sell yours in an hour. That's just not the case anymore. We are seeing prices flatline quite a bit. So if your neighbor listed their home for $500,000, you're likely also, again, depending on how they compare, likely also going to be in the same neighborhood of pricing. Just because your neighbor sold for 500 doesn't mean you can tack 10% onto it and then, go on the market. Maybe 1% right now difference. If they sold, 30 days ago, you might be able to get 1% more than they did, but the number is very, very small in the increases that we're seeing across comparables. And the big reason there is because there is so much more inventory on the market that buyers have a lot more options. Buyers are no longer going to be looking at things that they feel might be overpriced. Plus they have the interest rate equation where interest rates have just been beating buyers up for the last 16, 18 months, and they're just getting tired of it. So as those interest rates remain elevated, we're right now in the upper 6, low 7 range, depending on the day. As those rates remain elevated, buyers just are not willing to go into something where they feel it's overpriced. So the important thing, if you're on the selling side of the equation, is to price your home correctly. And we want to make sure that we leave plenty of time to market the property as effectively as possible as we're getting on the market. So we don't want to try and rush getting on the market. We want to make sure that we do it the right way. That way we can get the photos done and we can do all of the marketing plan that your agent likely has. If you don't have an agent and you're here in Coastal Delaware, again, my team would love to work with you, so don't hesitate to reach out. But again, back to the pricing equation, buyers aren't willing to overpay. Sellers are kind of in this weird mindset where they think that they can still get a premium on their home. The best explanation of this I heard the other day from a news source was, imagine that you've got a banana split and it's got all the different toppings and everything on top. Back in 2021, you could load that thing up and it would be covered in all the toppings. Right now, we're taking the whipped cream and the cherry off the top. That's basically the difference in pricing right now, is we're not seeing prices ramp up as fast as we did previously, and we're seeing a lot more level pricing. So if your neighbor just sold for 500, you're likely listing somewhere in the 500 to maybe 510-ish range. It's not going to be a big difference unless unless obviously your homes are vastly different. You know, if your neighbor's got a 2,000 square foot home and you got a 10,000 square foot home, but that's not very likely to happen within the same neighborhood. I think it's important to have the conversation and really understand what's happening locally. Again, maybe not even just in your town, but could be in your subdivision. It could even be on your street, depending on the neighborhood and all that kind of stuff. So just make sure that you are informing yourself and arming yourself with as much information as you possibly can. So that way you know if it's the right thing to do for you. Is it the right home to buy? Is it the right time to sell for you? That scenario looks different for every single person. I know a lot of people always say, oh, it's a great time to buy, or oh, it's a great time to sell. That is not just a general, statement that we can make. That is a very person-specific, family, household-specific decision to make, that we can't just sweep generalizations that, hey, it's a great time to buy, or hey, it's a great time to sell. We need to look at your exact scenario and make sure that it makes sense for you to do either buying or selling. It doesn't make sense for everybody else. It needs to be your particular scenario. That's going to do it for what we're seeing here in the market. Currently, it's June of 2024. That's our market update. I hope you guys found some value in today's video. If you did, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button down below. And then if you or someone you know is looking to buy or sell real estate here in Coastal Delaware, again, me and my team help you with that every single day. And we love hearing from you guys here on the channel. So all my contact information can be down below in the description. And again, right here on the screen. If we can help in absolutely any way, don't hesitate to reach out. I hope to see you guys next time. Peace.